Listeners be advised. The Soliloquy podcast discuss matters related to the human experience and many that are sexual in nature. Due to this, some conversations may surround triggering topics such as sexual violence, self-harm, abuse, and much more. Please be advised, a list of crisis and psychological resources will be available in the show notes of this episode. With that said, let's get started with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please as we go through the following safety instructions.
In the event that there is a loss of cabin pressure, oxygen mask will drop from the overhead. Place the mask over your nose and mouth. Breathe normally as oxygen is flowing even if the mask is not inflated. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Soliloquy podcast, where we step out and speak on sexuality. This is your favorite host, Vernon T. Scott, also known as Slaytor Jackson, and for you freaky motherfuckers out there, Sebastian Adams. On today's episode, I have the pleasure of speaking with Crystal.
Oh, the pleasure is mine. The pleasure is mine.
Girl, so y'all, Crystal and I, we go back to the high school days. She also has her.
I'm an ARJ.
Girl, not that we going to another high school now. Jesus.
Listen, I'm getting my alphabets confused.
Look, we old now, y'all. We are aged,
ancient,
blessed,
ancient, if
and
you
prosperous. We look good for our age. I'll
take that.
Huh?
I said, I'll take that.
Right, but at the same time, I'm like, bitch, how old do you think 30 is? How old do you think 29 is? Like, bitch.
But it is giving check engine light is on for me.
You're right, because look, the knees don't.
The knees, the back, the hips, it's just not there no more.
Child, I'm tired of hearing pops. That shit is just so annoying. And I'm like, but I feel great. Like, I was walking like last week, and I'm like, why the fuck are my thighs hurting? Like, I'm not walking that far.
Right?
And I'm like, I walk every fucking week. I walk like 4 or 5 days a week, and I'm in pain. Like, what the fuck? What am I doing?
It doesn't compute.
Exactly. Like, don't do that to me, body. Stop playing these fucking games. Like, you know who I am. We've known each other for how many fucking years, and now you want to act up? Like,
you don't know? You can get snatched up.
Exactly.
That's what Socrates said.
Bitch, that's Socrates. That's old Socrates. I'm done. Now I'm just going to be like, that's on Plato, that's on Socrates, all fucking episode. It's a thing now. It needs to be an official thing. That's on Confucius, bitch. Like, what the fuck? I'm done. We are so early in this. Okay, let me go back to, like I said, this is not a professional platform. God. So, where was I? Oh, yes. So we have Crystal here. Crystal, just because you're new to the show and everybody's just like, okay, y'all having a whole ass fucking conversation. I know y'all know each other, but we don't know her. Y'all mind your business. You're gonna get her info. So, Crystal, who the fuck are you?
I'm a bad bitch. I'm just kidding. Jeez. I am a mother. I am a former educator. I'm also an eternal student of life, including all the hoochie coochiness of life too. Yeah. I enjoy learning about sex, relationships, love, just because, especially for women, especially for Black women, I feel like we're still super stigmatized when it comes to sexual autonomy. So learning about how we can liberate ourselves through that avenue is a passion of mine, because we'll probably get into this in the episode. But as I was telling you before, it took a while for me to reach this stage in my life where I feel capable of being a sexual being, and like sex and is normal, and shouldn't be so taboo anymore. So it's a very freeing feeling. Jesus, I can't English. It's a very freeing feeling for me, and I would like for all Black women to experience the freedom of all types, but including sex or being a sexual being.
Amen to that. See, I don't know how I would be if I was back in the days when showing your ankle meant that you was a fucking harlot. Cause good
Oh,
lord,
bitch, I know I would be on the motherfucking stake burning
bitch, burning like hell. Like,
3,000 degrees.
oh, I'm showing. You see that shoulder, bitch? Oh, oh. Up in church, just showing a little bit of the thigh. Hey,
Listen.
pastor, go ahead and burn me at the stake. You better stake me hard, motherfucker. You better stake me hard. Like, what are we doing? Oh God. But on today's episode, y'all, we will be discussing preferences and whatnot. And just to start
Hmm.
off the conversation, it's a battle, it's a fucking debate. It's all about preferences versus discrimination. And
Yes,
like that conversation in itself, it's like I'm tired. I'm so fucking tired of the phrase "it's just a preference." No, bitch, it's not just a
same.
preference. Because you just came from my life with everything the fuck that you just said. You think it's going to be
Yes,
cute because you said it's just a preference. No, I'm going to read you for the fifth that you are, and then I'll let
exactly.
you know those words that I said was just my preference, and that's on fucking Confucius. Like I said,
And
motherfucker.
on Socrates, and period. Because
Amen.
people like to say that it's my opinion or it's my preference is like a blanket statement that facts don't matter anymore because it's your opinion. But that's not how reality works. And also,
Exactly.
our preferences don't exist inside of a vacuum. We don't just one day wake up and randomly find something more attractive than the other thing. Almost everything that we do is a result of socialization, even on a subconscious level. So if you are attracted to skinny bodies as opposed to fat bodies, yes, to your brain, it could be an innocent attraction, but deep down, maybe it's because you've been constantly fed from the media, from your parents, from whoever, that fat bodies aren't worthy of love or fat bodies not are not as attractive, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that. It's like you just have to unpack those thoughts of where is that coming from. Like I know, like even when I was growing up and I started, to like get thicker and thicker as the years kept going by, and feeling so insecure about other people's bodies compared to my bodies that I came to a
Yeah.
point was like, because I used to love myself as a kid. Like, okay, y'all judge me if you want to. I used to fantasize fucking myself as a kid because I was like, I'm that beautiful. Like I was like, I will
Right?
definitely have sex with myself.
Like
Like,
you like a clone of you?
yes, bitch. I was like, if the science was a thing, me and Vernon we will be like, if Vernon's attracted to me, because I'm already attracted to Vernon, like, what the fuck can we do? Even though low key that's kind of like very creepy on some level, but it's my clone. Like it's a completely different individual. We got the same DNA. It's weird, but at the same time, I was attracted to myself. But
That sounds like a kink, though. Is that a kink?
it might be a kink.
I'm sure it is.
Bitch, pull up looking like me. What the fuck you trying to do? Like, let me
Beat
know.
my own cheeks from the back.
Amen. But like after a while, like being around what everybody's assuming is supposed to be attractive and whatnot, I started to hate myself more. But after a while, just like fuck what other people think. I need to like learn to love myself again and get back to that space. And ever since I started that discovery of self-love once more, it's just like I know what I find attractive, and it's
Yeah,
not necessarily based off the body type. It's like
yeah,
I know sexually, like I don't always mesh well with other big people, but at the same time, that does not mean that we cannot fuck. Like that does
right.
not mean that we cannot do different things.
Yeah,
Now there is a certain aesthetic that I do like sometimes, but
yeah.
it's not like, oh, I'm going to not go after this certain person because they don't meet that. Like if we can have a great conversation, if there's trust involved, if you can
Hmm.
communicate very well and effectively,
Hmm.
you can arouse me in more than one level, then more than likely we're gonna be fucking.
So for you, it's more of a personality thing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like the body type doesn't mean nothing. Like what else? Like you can sell your body as much as you want in terms of like sending me news and whatnot. Yeah, might
Hmm.
spark an interest, but I'm not trying to engage with you solely for your body because I see people more than just a body.
For me, it's maybe 60% physical attraction and 40% personality. I feel that in some respects, how they look is a little bit more important to me
Mhm.
than personality initially. Because if you look like Quasimodo, we're not going to even make it to the romance part. So you got to have like some type of physical attributes that I find attractive in order for me to engage with you. But in terms of like a long-standing partnership, then personality becomes more or equally important to looks for me.
I get that. Like you definitely need to be physically and sexually attracted to your partners because,
Exactly.
like, if it's not, then not to say why are you with them, but like evaluate that. Like, what is there something within that relationship that is fulfilling that outdoes the physical attractiveness that is not making you necessarily like a leech, because you know
Right.
that concept of, oh, if it's an ugly person or whatever, which I don't really believe in ugly as a physical trait. It's definitely a
Mm,
personality thing.
mm.
But if it's someone that you deem as being unattractive, oh, but they got money and whatnot, so you're saying that you're a leech. That's how I see that.
Ooh,
Like, are
you're not
you
wrong.
are you out here being a leech, or are you out here trying to pour in some motherfuckers' cups?
Right.
Because like for me, when it comes to like dating people and like understanding preferences or even the discriminations or whatever, you need to identify which people are really going to be an asset to your life and which are the ones going to drain you and be that liability. Like, who's going to cause more harm?
I agree. And I feel like when we talk about figuring out who should be an asset to your life, it financially is important no matter what people say. But it doesn't necessarily have to be just finances. Who is going to be your support system when you're going through a mental crisis? Who's going to be your your babysitter when your kid is sick and you can't take off work? I feel like assets are what someone can add to your life, or sometimes things that are intangible, and it doesn't just always have to be about like finances.
Mm. Oh, yes. Like, who's going to cuddle with me on those days when
Exactly.
I actually do just need somebody to hold me close? Who's
Exactly.
going to be that person who can not necessarily being on the ledge, but who can just soothe me with their words, let me know that
Yes.
I am powerful, even though I feel like I failed on multiple levels. Like, who is that person?
Exactly. And that's why it pisses me off so much with this whole what do you bring to the table besides pussy and cleaning the house conversation. Like it seems like people have forgotten that the point of relationships is companionship, not this transactional
Mm,
power struggle to see who can benefit the most from who. Like you seek a partner because you want someone to be there with you through the high moments and the low moments, not necessarily because of what you can get out of them or what they can give you.
exactly. See, oh girl, you about to have me on a whole damn rant about transactional.
Rant ran
Like,
away.
the transactional state that we are as a society. I hate the fact that we do have to think about the commodity of things. Like,
Yes.
you sell yourself in terms of getting a job, you sell your body in terms of the work that you do, the quality that you put out there, you sell yourself to a man, to a woman. You have to advertise yourself in so many different ways rather
Hmm.
than just having a genuine conversation. It's always the salesmanship. You have to look a
Right.
certain type of way to get the certain type of thing. You have
Right.
to have all the fancy things just to show that you are the man or the woman that this person deserves in their life.
Yes.
The material things should not matter when it comes to the relationship that you are trying to have with the person. The
Yeah.
material things are great to have in addition
Yeah.
to, but they should not be the thing that makes up what you do in terms of how you pursue somebody to find love, to find that companionship. Because we this transactional behavior, these transactional thoughts that we are embedded in within this culture is just doing more and more things to align us with always owing other people for our own happiness. The Soliloquy podcast focuses on the variability of sexual expression. When it comes to sexual expression, we often depend on pornography to illustrate how one must perform sexually. For those who have not learned this by now, the stuff you see in porn is not real. Pornography provides a singular perspective of sexual expression that is not often the reality we see during our own sexual encounters. The Soliloquy podcast is a conversation that takes you outside of the compressed box of what many know about sex. Some of the topics we discuss includes kinks, condom usage, status disclosure, and past sexual experiences. The Holiloquy podcast steps out on sexual norms and recognizes that the norm is not the only normal. Subscribe today and join the conversation. More and more things to align us with always owing other people for our own happiness, always owing people for
Agreed.
the time that we spend with them, always, or even you other people owe you that time and
Yeah.
space because of what they're lacking. When I think of valuing somebody, like valuing my time, valuing the relationship and whatnot, that doesn't
Yeah.
have a price on it. It's about
Exactly.
a quality thing, and quality you cannot pay for. Well,
Exactly.
jewelry wise, but that's something different. But that's also
Yeah.
commodifying things.
Yeah.
But quality, it speaks on so many different levels. It's an emotional aspect, it is a mental aspect, it is a social aspect, and those things you really cannot put a dollar sign on.
You really can't. And do you think that we have moved away from seeking relationships as a source of connection to the transactionality that we're dealing with now because of social media or because of the turn that society is taking? Or do you think that relationships have always been viewed in that light for the most part?
I say I feel like it's more of a turn in society. Most
Mm,
definitely when marriages and weddings became more of a business mindset versus a partnership of connection with the
mm,
person. Because when you think of most definitely like in Western society, in the history, like within the Victorian age,
mm-hmm,
marriages was always a financial decision. Like, how are we
mm-hmm,
going to make these connections so that our family thrives or that our
mm-hmm.
business connections thrive and whatnot? When it came to the common folk, they weren't getting married. They were out here, sleeping with multiple people, out here
Yeah,
exploring their sexualities, or
yeah,
even having a practice of, okay, we are in a committed relationship, you and I, and we're just going to be thriving this way. And we're going
yeah,
to build a household because now we have this kid on the way, and I'm going to step up as the parent or whatever, or finesse that situation with somebody,
yeah.
use the baby daddy, but and not really be the baby daddy. But that was more of the norm then. But now that we have this culture where your marriage and your sense of worth within your marriage is based off of the size of the ring, how
Mm,
that wedding went, that
yeah,
made it more transactional versus spiritual. Because when you
yeah,
think about a lot of the arguments, like in politics and stuff like that, how it's all about, how it's a biblical thing to be married and wedded and all this other stuff. And I always
yeah.
think, like, where is these passages in the Bible about
They
marriage?
don't exist, child.
Exactly. I'm like,
They
y'all
not in
always
there.
be like, oh, we have the Bible up here. We're reading from the Bible. No, you're reading from a sheet of paper. That's a legal
Yeah,
document. And like,
yeah.
let's not play those games. But like, it's like, but the marriages were not necessarily like something that was truly spiritual, but that doesn't
Mm,
mean that it cannot have that spiritual connotation to it. But we're so deep in this traditional or this monetary transactional uh, aspect of marriage that there's no, like, I don't think, or I don't foresee us ever getting to a place where it's truly something that is spiritual, in terms of you met somebody who you connected to on such
yeah,
a strong level that you might as well call them like your true soulmate, that you were meant for this person, rather than we
yeah.
found each other, we connected with each other, and we agreed to put our finances together.
Yeah, and the relationship that I have with my fiance is more along the spiritual lines of marriage, which is why I think we have such a, I guess, successful relationship. I don't know if that
Hmm.
seems like a weird way to put it, but I've seen people on social media saying that marriage is now obsolete because there's no point to it, and it always like gives me a weird feeling because of the way that I view me and my fiance's relationship as like a spiritual connection where we're just in tune with each other. So why would that? How could that ever be obsolete? Like, how could being with your soulmate ever be pointless?
Mm. Exactly. And but that's based off of that transactional thing.
Yeah,
Whenever you don't see the benefit or the value in something, of course it's going to be obsolete. But if you're doing it for
yeah,
like the right reasons, for that true connection, to make those true soul ties, to
hmm,
bond your ancestry with your partner's ancestry. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit spiritual on this one.
yeah,
That's when you have that a more of a spiritual alignment with the person that you're choosing to make that agreement with.
hmm,
Is it becomes that the ring is not the foundation of your
right,
marriage. It is the connection that's the foundation. And that's the
yeah,
thing that I will say most people either don't connect with or just forgot about because they're just so focused on that visual aspect
yeah.
of what a relationship should be rather than that connection, that spiritual side of it.
Yeah, I also think that at least in the Black community, it could be rooted in how like when our grandparents and great grandparents were coming up, they had to marry for survival because they
Mm.
didn't really have many options as far as high paying jobs or healthcare, if that was even a thing back then. I'm not really too sure on the history of healthcare. So and so they kind of had to marry for survival. And that's not really we don't really have to do that anymore, but it seems like people have never really graduated from the survival, Black people
Mhm.
have never really like graduated from the survival mindset. So a lot of people are still trying to seek out a partner that benefits them financially above anything else. What do you think?
I think that's a solid point because even when you think about, there was a case that I saw back in the slavery times
Hmm.
where because women were viewed as being property and whatnot,
Hmm.
and whenever enslaved person were to marry their spouse and whatnot, that protected them legally from being raped. And if you were to rape
Wow.
them, then you are, this is when the religion versus law come into practice. And
Hmm.
so if you were to rape them, that means you're doing an affront to God. Therefore, the person who was married to them were the one that was in the right. So it's like when you say survival, that's where my mind automatically went to. So
Hmm.
in order to protect the woman that I love or the man that I love from being abused in this way, especially the woman that I love, because look, white men were raping black women like crazy.
Yeah.
But in order for me to protect her, I need to marry her. And I think that's part of the reason why Thomas Jefferson married I forget her name. Oh my God.
Um,
Uh, it was I feel like she technically was his daughter or the sister of one of his enslaved women. I forget.
oh,
Oh my God. Y'all don't judge me.
oh, they don't know either. I'm just kidding. Y'all might know. Y'all might know.
Right. If you do comment, let me know. I appreciate it. But yeah, I think that's partly why is, in order to protect your property, you marry it. And
Jeez.
it's a horrible way to look at it, but that's the way it was.
It is a horror. In a sense, though, I feel like straight men still kind of look at women as like trophies or like
Mm,
objects, and like the woman that they pick to be their wife is like representative of, I guess, their lifestyle. Like they try to get the most attractive woman because they think that other men will see them with that woman and be like, "Damn, he really made it," since the woman's so beautiful.
exactly. The trophy wives, that was a phrase. It
It
was a
was,
phrase.
yeah.
And I agree. But the thing about it, don't get a trophy wife if you cannot honor that trophy or understand that other people who may covet that, they might be around. So
And period.
if you can't handle that, if you know that your significant other is extremely attractive and you cannot deal with other people finding them attractive, then that means you either need to deal with your insecurities or find somebody that is not on that level because your problem, not their problem.
I agree. How can you tell another grown person that they can't leave the house in a certain outfit and y'all both grown? That doesn't make no
Exactly.
sense to me.
Child, don't tell me what to do with my body.
Period.
Because we got a fucking problem. Like,
Yeah.
who are you? Like, there's always a door. You're always a choice in my life. Like, I want to choose you every single day. If you come to that point where it's like, you know what, we need to have a conversation. You
Oh.
trying not to get chosen tomorrow. I was trying to wake up. It felt like you was gonna get chosen, but the way you acted, and you said I cannot go out the house looking like that, and I was planning on going out the house looking like that, and I am going outside looking like that. We have a problem.
Yeah. No.
What you want to do? Do you want to lose me or do you want to keep me? It's up to you.
Oh.
Hmm?
Ooh.
Hmm? Okay. Because we're not playing these games.
Mm-mm.
Check these motherfuckers. That's all I'm saying. Now, if the person you're trying to check is one of those people that might want to swing at you, make sure you have some
Oh,
protection on you because we
uh-uh.
don't do that. We don't do that. Call me. I'll pull up. I'm a 6'4" tall ass nigga, and I'm big. Fuck around with those fuck arounds and get choked. That's all I'm saying, and that's on Confucius.
And
Amen.
period. Or you can call me. I mean, I'm little, but I know how to motherfucker in the throat.
Amen. You know, a student today called me. She said I'm one of those. What did she say? I think she said intelligent thugs. I was like, bitch, the fuck. I was like,
Wait, what? How old is she?
she is like 62, one
Oh,
of our adult students,
oh
and
no.
I think she said it because we be talking about because she used to sell drugs back in the day.
I was gonna ask, what does she know about the thug? But okay.
Yeah, she used to sell drugs. She had her stays in prison, a couple of them, and she was
Oh
talking about how
wow.
she still knows some drug dealers. And every now and again, I might ask her, "So you selling an 8 ball today or what?" so, so yeah, we got that report, and she was like, "You know what, Dr. Scott, you a smart thug." And I was like,
Hmm.
"Okay, bitch."
That
I
was a
still got
compliment.
my and I was like, I still got my distribution plan, bitch. Let me know if you really trying to get on this 8 ball. Let me
Walter White.
listen. We can have a whole ass organized. No, these are social. Yeah, we're on the
Yeah.
Broadways.
Sorry, FBI.
Ain't it? Ain't nothing was said in that moment. Nothing was said.
You have to delete the tape.
They pull up. Excuse me, sir. Who are you? We're looking for Vernon Scott. Ooh, who's that?
He don't live here.
My name is Werner. Ooh, ooh, Philandro. Oh, you're looking for Philandro Scott? I think he's over there.
Yeah, wrong
Yeah,
house.
wrong house, wrong house. I'm so sorry. Mm. Oh God. Okay. So I'm going to skip around a little bit.
Okay.
One of the things that we were talking about was cuddling with the fluffs.
Yes, I love me some fluffies.
I know. How is that? And you know it when this airs, it's going to be like in March, so people forgive me. It is approaching the winter time, and I hope it's still cold in March because fuck the heat.
Yeah, yeah.
I know y'all people like, oh,
If-
I can't wait for the summertime. Fuck it, you can't wait for the summertime because in elementary school, through K-12, you had the summers off. That's why you love the summer. That's why you love the
Brandy,
summertime. You don't like the heat. None of us like that shit. So shut the fuck up and stop
look,
asking for it. You're a part of
right,
the reason why
listen.
global warming exists. Shut the fuck up and pray for the cold.
I got some soccer ball ass titties, and these things be sweating. Nobody
Look.
want to be in no Georgia heat.
Girl, nobody. Like I have a friend who moved here, and I was like, "Look, you are not ready for this Georgia heat." He's like, "Oh, it be like a hot here. It's I'm near a
Mm.
river and whatnot." I was like, "Sir, you are not ready for this Georgia heat,
It's the humidity for me.
ain't it? Like you really do have to look
Jesus.
at that shit." Like I was out when I was in Tennessee. I spent 1 year there before I actually came back during the summer.
Mhm.
I'm here for like I step out my car automatically sweating, and I was like, I know my pores didn't dry up that quick. Like, what the fuck? It's crazy, y'all. Don't move to Georgia and think it's going to be all Gucci. No, everywhere is humid, and I don't know why.
I
It's
second that.
completely dry, no rivers, no lake, and it's
Right?
humid as fuck. And I'm like, how?
It doesn't make sense.
Like I literally have to go walking on the other side of the town just so I can be far enough from a source of water so I don't sweat as much. And I'm still sweating, y'all. It's crazy.
Sweating.
I'm sweating now. I'm at home. Let me stop. Oh God. But yes, the fluffs. What are the
Yes.
fluffs?
For me, the fluffs is a slim thick to a thick. man with some meat on his bones.
Mm, mm,
Scrumptious.
yes, yes, Lord, yes.
That's one of my dating preferences. Because just cuddling with them and all the softness and all the warmth and the heat, it's just so nice. It's so nice. It feels like I'm floating on a cloud or some shit. I don't know. I just love it.
And I love that for you because I love it as well.
Yes.
Like I know I'm a chunky dude, but I do also like somebody with some meat on their bones. That's not
Yes.
saying I cannot be out here with the bony bones, but
No
it's a different.
disrespect to the bony bones. I tried dating one just to see like if my preference was all in my head and I could date someone who was like outside of my type, quote unquote. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
Mm. I would say my ex was also a bony bone, but look, it was fun. The sex was great and I enjoyed it. I also used to occasionally think to myself, okay, if it was a little bit thicker, maybe just a
Same.
little bit, but I love you for who you are.
Oh.
But at the same time, oh, a little bit thicker. But hey, the bony bones, we love y'all
I
regardless.
just be scared I'm gonna break them in half,
Exactly.
in quarters.
Accidentally drop it too hard and shatters, and I'm just like, ooh.
Oh
Mm.
God, exactly. Or like if we try to do some bedroom WWE, he tried to pick the pile drive me with his arm shaking. I'd just be like, this is a liability. Do you
Ex-
have health insurance?
like just scoop a motherfucker. Yes, yes. Like, look, we love y'all. We love y'all regardless. Continue
We
to be
do.
a bony bones out here. The men, women, and those in between.
Do
We
what you
love you
do.
all. Be the bony bones that you are. It's okay. Even though it's average. So, this is the thing that pissed me off when
Uh-huh.
thick people could no longer call themselves thick because a motherfucker decided to say slim thick with your cute ass, and people lost their fucking mind and decided, oh,
Uh,
let's start to redefine what thick is. And I was like, bitch, who the
God
fuck are
damn
you?
it, Fetty Wap. That was Fetty Wap, wasn't it?
I believe so.
You
Yeah.
one-eyed motherfucker.
Now, I will say, Fetty and that one, I can definitely get it.
He got too many baby mamas.
Look, I'm not. I can never give him a child. That's all I'm saying. I can help
Good point.
babysit.
You will be
Hey,
helping him pay his
babe.
child support.
It's like, let me help. Hold up. I don't know about that. I could be stepdaddy, but I ain't trying to. You got that. You got that, babe. Child, bring your eye over here so we can see the future.
Oh my.
That was horrible. Oh God, let me stop. This is why. This is why. Fetty, you can get it if you ever hear this. Just find me online. You can find me on Instagram, as well as what is that thing called? Twitter, that toxic ass place. Just slide in DMs. I ain't gonna say nothing.
Oh, baby. I can't do
So another thing, what is your stance on ages as it relates to preferences?
Ooh, I feel like this one is. I'm gonna just say it. I think that people who date significantly younger than them to a certain point are strange. Not, I'm not talking about like if you're 35 and your partner is 25, but if you're like 22 and your partner is 17, or even if you like 23 and your partner is 18, it's giving predatory. Am I wrong?
See, I get that in terms of these individuals don't really know life.
Yeah.
But I will give those people slight grace as long as they're
Hmm.
not trying to manipulate. And
Mm.
the only reason why is because if you look at them 5 years from now, they're still going to be dating within that same range in a sense.
Hmm.
But the main difference is that manipulation aspect because 23-year-olds still don't know themselves, but they just know
Yeah.
themselves a little bit more than an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's a little bit weird. Is like, are you reaching back? in order because you just find this person attractive and you want to
Yeah.
date them, or are you reaching back because those people that you're is within your age group is just like they're not fucking with you. And if they're not fucking with you,
Exactly.
like if they're not really fucking with you, it's time for you to evaluate yourself to see what the fuck you're doing wrong because it's
That is what I
definitely
always
you.
wonder. When I see those big age gap couples where the younger one is borderline a minor, I'm like, why can't you find for the older partner? Why can't you find someone your age? Like, what are you doing that is making other 25-year-olds be like, nah, bruh, nah. That's what makes
Exactly.
me wonder. Like, is it a manipulatory, predatory thing,
Mm-hmm.
or
Because personally, I feel like those people who are like in their early 20s, if they were like me, are just hoes. Like most people in that age group, okay, let's not say most, many
I
people,
think you'd be safe with saying most.
right? Many people in that age group are hoeing. They're finding themselves, they're exploring their sexualities, they're breaking hearts and whatnot, which they should not be doing. But you
Yeah,
know, a broken heart happens regardless.
yeah. I feel like there are
They're
ways to ethically hold though.
I agree. There are like you have to like within those that age group, it's just a lot of I would say messiness that's going on.
You're right.
So if you are within that age group and you're not being chosen, there's a reason. Like
Yeah,
like chosen, not chosen at all. And
right.
you have to go like younger and younger and younger and younger. There
Yeah,
is something that you really do have to like look into. Like even for myself, I was able to pull people like my age group, a little bit
yeah,
older, probably a
yeah.
year or two younger than me, when I was like in my early 20s. But like what are you doing?
Right.
Like, are you out here on that toxic manosphere stuff that you just
Yeah,
cannot really communicate with a woman or another man or any
yeah,
person on this planet, someone that's non-gender, you just cannot have the conversation with them? Are
yeah.
you devaluing people? Are you gaslighting people? What is it? Figure that out.
Right. For me, it's also a red flag if, well, just for a personal example, when I was, let's see, say 18 or 19, I was approached by someone who was 25, 26, and he preferenced like him talking to me by asking how old was I. For me, it's a red flag if someone looks so young that you have to ask them how old they are and you still approach them in a sexual
Mm,
manner. That's a red flag to me.
exactly. That is
Yeah.
creepy. That is extremely
Yeah.
creepy. Like even for me, I've been hit on by like 18 and 19-year olds, and I automatically think like you remind me of a student. And
Right.
because I worked in higher ed and I know how immature 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year
Yes.
olds can actually be,
Yeah.
it's not giving me sexy at
Yeah.
all. So it's like, uh, would I be willing? Possibly, depending on if I'm horny enough. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm not seeking you out. Like,
Right.
I'm not going to be all up in your DMs. I'm not going to be like, oh, you can possibly be a regular. It's not, no, I'd rather just have a genuine conversation with you and talk about sexual health. And
Yeah.
that would be the
Yeah.
extent of our damn conversation because like there's grown dick out here. There's grown pussy out here. There's grown ass out here. Like you got things that you need to like learn for yourself and like grow into. Like even when it comes to like well, this is going off the preferences thing. Like if I
Mhm.
come across somebody's profile and they just happen to be like 21 or something like that and they have like no one older than 22, 24 or whatever like that, I'm like I'm not going to be upset with that. And I'm just like, yes, that's what you should like put that on your profile because
Yeah.
you can protect yourself a lot more within that age group
Yeah.
in terms of not having someone who might want to exploit you or
Right.
try to manipulate you, try to love bomb you and all this other crazy shit.
Yeah.
Just figure yourself out with those people that are somewhat on the same level as you. Of
Yeah.
course, when it gets to like 21, 22 and all up there, you they kind of step into a different kind of them where it's like, oh, I can go out and drink. I'm a little bit more of an adult than these
Yeah.
other people. So it's like it's weird, but like there's like that little area there. I'm just like You don't have to just be shopping around in those ages, people. Just look outside of that. Like if you're 40 years old, don't be out here trying to pick up a little 18-year-old because they
Yeah,
don't know
what
the
are you doing?
vibe. Like if y'all happen to connect, I'm going to mind my business because look, legally speaking, as well as a society, they are considered a
An
conscious and
adult.
adult at that point. So
Yeah,
I'm not the one to judge whatever the fuck an adult wants to do, but just don't be manipulating people. That's my only thing. Don't manipulate them.
I can vibe with that.
Let people who are younger than you live their own lives and be free
Yes.
to explore themselves. Don't try to restrict them. Don't try to put them on the requirements that you want in a relationship. Let
Yeah.
them be them. They're young. If they want to fuck around with other people while they're getting to know you and dating you, let them do it.
Right.
You're 40.
Also, it could just be me and my experiences, but early 20s dick wasn't really even hidden or nothing. Like
Child,
no one
not
that
a
I
damn.
engaged with in my early 20s really even knew what they were doing.
Not a damn. This is
Yeah.
why I've definitely tried the older grown, and it was
But did that
completely
help?
different. It was a completely different breed, and I was like, you know what? I don't
Oh,
know what these young people doing out here, but I need more of that.
they
I
don't
need
know
it to be
either.
aged. Let it be aged, Lord.
Like wine.
Processed. It went through some cycles. It's been thrice distilled. Cause it's no to mediocre dick, everybody. No to
Yes,
mediocre sex. No to all things mediocre. If you're
I
not
agree.
trying to improve yourself on a regular basis, then you're not improve your sexual experiences, people. Do
I
not
agree.
do not supply the same quality of dick to everybody. Do not. Do not. I understand you want to like give somebody B quality if it's the first time that y'all met. That's fine.
Wait, why do
But
you give B quality if it's the first time?
these motherfuckers are basic. But
Uh,
yes,
B for basic. I got it.
if you want to provide that B quality, do what you want to do. Just don't give them C. Like B is like, okay, we're passing. We're you're getting
Yeah.
up there. I might want to go back. Now,
Yeah.
for somebody like me, if you ain't providing A, mm-mm.
Same.
Because look, in grad school, a B is barely passing.
Oh no. Not
Chill.
B for barely passing.
Look, a C, you getting kicked out. You on probation, motherfucker. This is grad school credits over here, motherfucker. We do
Oh
not.
my gosh.
This is not undergrad where you can get away with the 2.0. No, motherfucker. 3.6 or higher.
Period.
What quality you bringing?
That's so Confucius.
Amen. And Plato. Oh God.
What do you say to people who are like in a monogamous relationship and accepting mediocre peen
I just tell them I'm
or mediocre
sorry.
coochie?
I tell them I'm sorry. Like,
Me too.
do you want to like? Do you need to spice it up? Like, I'll give them all. This is when you have a free ass coaching session. Do you want to have like? Do you want to utilize toys in your relationship? Are y'all even communicating about the sexual experiences? What are your pleasures? Like, does he know your pleasures or does she know your pleasure zones? Like, what is
Right.
it that's lacking? Are y'all not sexually attracted to each other? If not, what's going on there? Is there anything that y'all can do to boost that? How often do you have sex? Do you switch up the positions? Are y'all doing the same thing on a recurring basis that you get tired of that? You need to spice it up somewhere. Bring out a whip and slap this motherfucker randomly and see how he reacts to it.
Oh
Don't
shit.
slap too hard. You gotta ease into it.
Might knock him out. Then you're gonna have to
Look,
explain to the doctor what was going on in the ER. That could get a little.
child, that's a fun ass conversation then. So you did what?
I had a sex almost sent me to the ER experience myself.
Ooh, now we gotta hit this tea.
Oh Lord. So this is when me and my fiance had first like started dating.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He is how to put this? Properly endowed with a large eggplant.
He was touched by the Lord.
So we were doing the freak nasty, right? And one of my, I guess, kinks, which we'll probably talk about later, is rough. I like it rough. So we just boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, oh golly gee, this is great. I'm having so much fun. Then I hear a pop and I feel a pop.
Mm.
I was like, I don't think that's normal, but I'm having a great time, so don't worry about it. We're just gonna keep going. So we just kept going. The freak nasty time was over, and then I just felt this crippling pain, like I couldn't walk. Like all I could do was lay there and cry. It hurt so bad. I tried to walk to get up to go to the bathroom and make sure that I wasn't like bleeding out and dying, and I was literally like an old ass geriatric trying to get to the bathroom.
Jesus.
But I was too embarrassed to go to the ER because I didn't want to be like, yeah, I was getting my coochie absolutely destroyed and I can't walk because that's embarrassing. So
That's what some people ask for, but look, you don't want it.
listen. So I had to text my friend that works in the OBGYN office and tell her what happened and ask her like what she thought it was and if she thought I need to go to the hospital. And she said, oh, you probably just pulled the coochie muscle. It'll heal. I was like, okay. So it did heal. It took like a week, but that shit was painful.
Child. Thank you for having friends that's connected to the OBGYN office. Amen.
Okay, because I was not going to go to the hospital. I did not want to have to explain that. That would have been so embarrassing. And then when you go to, because you know when you go to the ER, they make you say what's wrong in front of everybody before they let you sit. I didn't want to be like my coochie got destroyed in front of everybody.
Child, if you said that, somebody in the back was like, who? Who did that? Hold up, you know that's gonna be somebody who's gonna rise up and be like, I might need to steal that whole. Hold up, a coochie was destroyed. Brought you to the ER. Hold on now, let me look over there. Who's that? Who's that? Is he in here too?
Embarrassing.
Oh God. Okay. So before we close out the episode and go into Never Have I Ever.
Oh, I'm ready.
There's one more thing that we have to talk about as it relates to preferences and go deep into it, and that's body count.
Ooh.
So how do you feel?
Oh, I thought I was gonna say my body count. I feel like it don't matter because
I took a few seconds for that to register.
I was like, damn, we getting a little personal. I personally feel like for me, it doesn't matter because as long as you're clean, you know, how many people you've been with doesn't really have like any effect on anything. Mm-hmm. But I do think that it's really stupid that in today's society and in society like for all throughout history, body count is seen as less important for men than it is for women. Like if you've been with 2 dudes, you a hoe. But niggas out here with 18 baby mamas saying that the person with 2 bodies just ran through. I don't like that.
Talking about Nick Cannon.
I don't like that.
That's the poster child for body counts on that one. Good Lord. Every time I'm like, tomorrow we're gonna find out there's a new baby mama. Like the fuck.
I don't like the double standard.
Me neither. Like that shit just never made sense to me because I'm just like, how like the expectation that you want what is it? Satan something with freak in the bed. What is it?
Oh, a lady in the street.
In the freak in the bed. There we go. Yeah. How the hell are you going to want that expectation and think that the freak in the bed has not had a body that she slept with? Because you have to like do work to get that title of fucking freak. Because you don't just be, that is not a birth skill. That is a lived experience, motherfuckers. This is not like, oh, I have the traits of being the motherfucking freak like I have the traits of being a leader. Hell no, that's completely different. You have to work on that shit. You do not just random, okay, I guess if you read a lot of erotica and whatnot, and you read some stuff, and you just like, oh, I want to try this shit with my partner and all this other shit. That's a little bit different.
Maybe.
That's a little bit different. I'll say that you've learned some things in those books and that you're trying to play out now, and they brought out some freaky shit.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. But not too many people out here reading erotica like that. So don't have the expectation. If you have that expectation, you better ask people what they read on a daily basis. If they say Zane, is Air Jerome Dickey? If they say any erotic writers, if they say that, you might have it. If they don't say that shit, oh, I love romance novels and all these other stuff, bitch. Oh, I love what was it? 50 Shades of Grey. No, you don't know what you're talking about. You vanilla. Yeah. Stop it. You ain't no freak.
I also think it's fucking ridiculous to place value on a woman or on a human being in general based on how many people they've slept with. Like why is your value diminished by because a man touched you? I feel like men see sex less about pleasure almost and more
Mm-hmm.
about control and power. And
Mm,
oh, if a woman has sex with the man, then that means that he took control of her, he had power over her. When really good sex should be a mutual balance of power where everyone's mutually getting pleasure and no one's taking control or taking something away from the other. Both should be giving to each other.
exactly. And if you ever want to live rent free in the motherfucker's head, you always supply a dick. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh,
And if
life
you
lessons.
if you out here supplying B, then if you have that sense that oh somebody else is controlling this person because they slept with them or whatever, blah 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 blah, well
Yeah,
relax. You know everybody else that she's been fucking around with is supplying B dick, so you good because you don't know who she ran across that is providing C. Because as long as
right.
you're not providing C, ain't nobody got no control over that. If you're not providing A, you definitely don't got any kind of
Step your
control.
game up.
Step your game up. Live rent free in the motherfucker's head.
Period.
That's all I'm saying. Because I still get text messages. What you got?
Oh.
Mm. And that, folks, is on Confucius. Oh God. See, yeah, that needs to be a thing. It's a
It's a
thing
thing
now.
now.
It's officially a thing. Oh God. Okay. Now let's get into this. Never have I ever. Are you
Oh,
ready?
I'm ready.
Never have I ever watched a significant other have sex with someone else.
I have not done that, but that's not my kink. I think I would like start stabbing them like with a knife.
Oh my God, that
Yeah.
escalated. Let's talk
It's oh
about
sorry.
it.
It's the jealousy and the rage. Like I would never want to see my partner do to someone else what he does to me.
I get that because there was this conversation that I was overhearing. Well, not overhearing. I was listening to it on the podcast, but they were talking about how would you react if your partner is giving better dick or better pussy to somebody else, and you're right
What in the
there.
hell?
And because they were talking about play parties, and I was like, you know
Who?
what? A play party.
What is that?
So that's essentially where you have like people who meet up in order for them to like it's kind of like swinger type of thing. Either you come single, come with other people, partner, or whatnot, and y'all are just having sex with other people who are in there.
But why would you save the special occasion dick for somebody else?
And that's the thing. So they were like, if you heard your partner make a noise that they usually don't make with you, how would you react to it? Because the person who's fucking them, they they haven't fucked them before. They usually, probably fuck their partner this way, and now they're making some new noises. How would you react? And I know your ass might pull something off the fucking wall and hit somebody with it.
What would you do?
Like for me, I feel like I will have a moment of insecurity because I'm just gonna like, where the fuck did that come from? But at
Yeah.
the same time, I'm going to be like, okay, bet. Now I know I need to accomplish this because ain't no fucking way I'm going to have some other motherfucker make this noise that I have not made yet. So I need to
Yeah.
make that noise at least twice
Oh,
to make sure I did something
oh. Okay.
right. And then go
I think
beyond
that's a more healthy response than my response.
that. Look, who just died? Well, I ain't think that her making that kind of noise was going to lead to this. We can no longer have play parties here anymore. We had to call 911. This person's
Yes,
out at large.
immediately.
We have no idea where she's at. Um, do you all know who this person is? Anybody in here? Who did she come with? Oh God, that's that moment when you just better hope either the partner was the one that was taken out or they are
Oh,
ride or die.
hopefully
Because
rather die,
don't you say it was me. Don't you
right?
say I just killed a motherfucker. You gonna say it was me? Oh God. Would you like a would you rather?
Yes, I would.
So hold up? There we go. Would you rather give a golden shower or received one?
Oh, is neither an option?
Nope.
Well, I'm not getting pissed on, so I guess I'm gonna give it.
Like I would rather give one than receive.
Yes.
Now, I will say, depending on, because I don't know what future Vern is going to be like in like a couple years, because that nigga might be nasty as hell. So, depending on the partner, I guess, if we get to that point, like if they ask for me to piss on them, yes,
Yeah.
I would do it. I'm here for you and your sexual fantasies, but I don't know for sure if I would want that to happen. Have I been
Yeah, I
pissed
don't
on
think I would enjoy
before?
that.
Right, me neither. Like I like some like at the stalls or whatever, somebody might be pissing and something like gets on my shoe, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Ooh.
We not doing that.
Yeah.
And backsplash. But I
Oh
don't want to be a
God.
urinal for anybody. I don't like.
Yeah, that's worse to me.
Yeah, I don't feel myself walking up to somebody and be like, "Ooh, make me your urinal, motherfucker." I
No
don't.
thanks.
But I will say I have been asked. I have been asked to piss on somebody.
Did you say yeah?
I told them I'll think about it. I might do it if we do meet up again.
Were they gonna pay you?
See, that's the other thing. I really wanted to ask.
Because if there's money involved, there's a that makes a difference.
Look, let me know how much my piss costs.
Right.
I make some every fucking day.
What's your bottom dollar? Like, what's the lowest amount you do it for?
It depends. Okay,
Don't lowball yourself now.
If it's like early morning piss, which means I have to hold that shit for some time, it's going to be a good $80.
Okay.
If it's just regular, I've been pissing all day, and now I have to drink some water so I can get myself up to something.
Yeah.
Depend if I have to get myself ready by over drinking, I give them I say a good 20 to 30, because it's not quality piss.
I see.
But
I see. It depends on the quality.
it
Yeah.
depends on the quality. But the
Okay.
going rate, let's go with $40.
Okay. That's not too bad. I feel like that's a fair price.
Because they like it's are going to have to let them know, like, because if it's their place, look, we not pissing on anything in my house.
Oh
But
no.
if I'm going to your place, be like, okay, are you going to have a covering on your bed, or am I pissing on you in the shower? Like, let me know. What are we doing here? Drip. Piss on you. Oh God. Not the Dave Chappelle. Jesus. Okay. On that note, everybody, this has been a wonderful episode.
It was really fun.
Do you have any last words that you would like to share with the audience?
I love you all. Don't fake it. Have great sex. Live a free, great life. That's it.
I like that. Yes. And thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. I truly appreciate you.
Having me.
Of course. For y'all out there, thank y'all so much for listening to the Holiloquy podcast, where we step out and speak on sexuality. Just in case no one else told you this today, you are beautiful. You are worthy of happiness and joy. You are enough and then some. You may not live up to the expectations of others, but that is okay. You are only required to walk in your own shoes. May each day you live lead you towards abundance. With that said, love you all and see you next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Holiloquy podcast, where we step out and speak on sexuality. You can subscribe to the podcast through your favorite podcasting app and find us on the web at www.holiloquy.com. That's www.heauxliloquy.com. Share the podcast with your friends and join the conversation.